Hello, do you remember us? You better do. Uh, Welcome to the Arn and Eddie experience. I am Eddie Cyburns. Joining me as always is pre-season Arn. Uh,
Pre-season on.
Pre-season Arn. Too busy traveling about all those stadiums, so you are. Um, we're back. It's just in time for halftime. Between Arsenal and Brentford. And we're here to just talk about some predictions, some
Yeah.
pre-season choices we've got.
Oh,
We're going to look at all the
oh
leagues
yes.
that we want to talk about. Don't care about anyone else's leagues. Um, no, we're as I say, not going to be as wild as I was last time. We're going to go and discuss these leagues. We're going to get into a little bit more detail about stuff and what we want to do and who we hope's going to do well. And then we'll see where we can go from there.
Yeah, because
Art?
who I think is going to do well and who I want to do well is completely different.
Yeah, exactly. Two different things. So again, let's talk about everyone's favorite league because they call everyone else a farmers league. Let's talk about the Premier League.
The Prem.
Arn, what are your predictions for this league? Because we're only 45 minutes in to a very poor Arsenal side being
Uh,
pounded at the moment by Brentford.
Arsenal's a work in progress. I don't think Arsenal was really going to do anything major league this year, this season. They are looking to pick up Martin Odegaard because basically the pandemic has hit far harder in Europe than it has in the UK financially.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume that's something to do with TV money. But like basically, the teams in the Premier League seem to be rich as ever. They all have billion-dollar sugar daddies backing them up. So with that kind of financial clout available to all these teams, they can still go and buy players. They can still go and do whatever they want. So this is going to be a stronger league than normal, which I know there are certain people who say the Premier League's the best league in the world. It's not. There are some people who say that it's the richest league in the world, and I think this season that may be accurate.
I
So
mean, don't you know Barcelona and Real Madrid are poor? Those
Barcelona are
schools.
poor. They've got no money, can't even register players. So you're looking at some real money bags teams in the Premier League, and they've been able to spend the kind of money that no one else has. Man City spunked 100 million on Jack Grealish just because they can. Man United has spent a load of money. They've got Varane on the cheap because Real Madrid are just desperate to get players off their payroll.
No, he really wants to play for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's the reason. That's the reason
Yeah,
why I
so
want
Real
him.
Madrid are absolutely desperate to offload players. So Varane's gone and got himself a big payday at Old Trafford. It amazes me that they signed him like 2 weeks ago and they still haven't managed to register him. So he's not going to play this weekend.
One of your shirts behind you is now out of date, which I'm assuming is why it's covered.
Well, the one that's directly behind my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was behind my head for a reason. So, like, I bought a Lukaku Inter Milan shirt, which is now out of date. It's a reminder of the memories.
97.5 million to go back to a club that didn't treat him well the first time.
Yeah, and he doesn't really like it there, so he's literally just gone for the pay.
I think also Inter, as I say, are one of those clubs that you've said that is basically at this point of we need to offload everybody as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Inter are broke. I didn't realize how broke they were until the Lukaku offer came in, and they went from Lukaku is untouchable to how much?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Roman Abramovich basically turned up at the San Siro with a truck full of money. It was just a truck full of cash, and it was like one of those dump truck things, and he just emptied it out into the foyer there, and they were like, "Yeah, that'll come in handy because we haven't got any of that." Yep. It's not even lira or anything; it's like proper money, and
proper money.
Yeah, he paid him in euros, like 100 and something million euros. So. Yeah, Chelsea, one of the world's richest clubs, have been able to pull off a bit of a transfer coup. They just bought one of the best strikers in the world. One who they treated like crap the first time round and sold to Everton for, I think it was 35 million. So
Yeah, I
they paid
believe it was.
3 times that to get him back. I look forward to them paying about 120 million for Tammy Abraham in about 5 years' time. It'd be fantastic business.
He's one of those players who obviously started off his career at Anderlecht. I think he now is the most expensive player. Because
For
he
cumulative transfer fees.
cumulative overall. I mean, it's just hilarious how he's his career and how it's gone. Like you go from Everton then back to Man United. Man United really don't appreciate you as much, so you bugger off to Inter. And then
Yeah.
what's that? Chelsea are calling my name again.
That was calling his name.
Oh yeah, sorry. What's that? The money. This sort of feels like the actual Premier League is now the Super League is now the Premier League with PSG. Everyone else is not sure how Roma have the money for Abraham. They spent all their money on Jose Mourinho anyway.
If it's anything like Football Manager, installments.
All the installments.
It'll be in installments. It'll be. I think they're paying 34 million for him, or they're trying to anyway. Apparently, he doesn't want to go there.
I don't blame him.
Tammy's a road man. He wants to stay in London and cause trouble with his hoodlum friends. That's my suggestion.
So I've got down a proper thing on our sheet where we'll be predicting things from the Premier League.
Oh my word! Are we actually?
I've done a small thing here. Right. So, I'm gonna put in top 4.
I can see this. This is happening in real time.
And then I'm gonna put relegated. Okay. See, I've
You
come
put top 4 next to me and then relegated next to you.
Oh yeah, sorry, hold on. It'll fix.
Eddie going down. Eddie going down.
Yeah. Right. So, Arn, because well, before we do that, the teams that have just been promoted, Brentford, Watford, and I can't remember
Norwich.
the other one. Norwich. Yes.
Norwich. They won the championship last season.
So what do you expect their seasons are going to be like?
Norwich are really good, but then Norwich were really good last time they came up, and they just got completely outclassed. So they went from playing like really pretty football in the Championship to trying to play really pretty football in the Premier League and just getting, stomped all over. Almost nothing has changed. So anyone that's predicting Norwich to go down are probably right. I can't bring myself to do it because I couldn't bring myself to do it last time because I really want them to succeed in the way that Bielsa's Leeds has succeeded. Like Daniel Farke's Norwich is just a really good footballing team, and I just want them to succeed.
So Norwich, so would you put Norwich in your relegated in your bottom?
No. I think they might just about scrape it and stay up this time, and that's for several reasons. One is that Watford are terrible. Watford are pretty much nailed on to go down. They will sack their manager probably in September. Then they'll sack their next manager somewhere around March. Okay. And the next one at the end of the season. So I reckon Watford will get through 3 managers this season, maybe 4. They are a bit spicy when it comes to the sackings. So
okay. So I mean, right now, then, if we look at it, I'm gonna have to change this quickly because I'm getting. You've made me annoyed and pernickety about my setup now. Right. So the top 4. So in terms, I'll go with while I'm doing this. Who are your relegated? Brentford, actually, that's the last thing we need to talk about. Obviously, you've seen 45 minutes of them so far. What is your thoughts on the 45 minutes?
Yeah, I watched them. I did, probably not 45 minutes. I've probably seen about 25 minutes of today's game. But then I've watched them before. I watched them in the Championship. And I thought Brentford were pretty good. Generally, a team that hasn't been in the top flight for a long time, they get that bump the first season where it's like, they're really excited to be there and they're really fighting for everything. So I think Brentford will stay up.
Yeah.
I don't know how long they'll stay up for, but you heard the crowd. The crowd is going to be a 12th man.
Definitely for them.
Is that a prediction that Brentford are going to beat Arsenal 3-0, or have they scored 2 goals really quickly at the start of the second half?
I mean, the funny thing is, it could be either one of those, depending on how Arsenal's defense is playing. Right. So since we've talked about them, let's go prediction from I Tried Gaming. Right, Arn, let's do it.
Yeah.
Who are your relegate? Who are the 3 teams that are going to get relegated in the
All
Premier
right,
League?
3 to go down. Watford.
Okay.
I think Watford are pretty much dead and buried unless something radical happens at that club. I don't think they've got a chance of staying up. Burnley. Oh, that.
Okay.
So they. I Tried Gaming just dropped in with Watford, Norwich, and Burnley. Burnley. I'm not actually going to go with Norwich, but Burnley is one where every year I think, all right, now they're done. I think this is probably the year where it's like I think they've pushed their luck a little bit too much, and it's going to be game over for them.
Okay.
And the third one is Newcastle.
Oof.
Because I watched Newcastle.
Joe Willock.
I watched Newcastle play at York City in a pre-season friendly, and they are possibly the worst top-flight team I have seen in a decade. Admittedly, Sam Maximum wasn't playing, and obviously they've signed Joe Willock. So this is going to be close, but I think it's either them or Southampton. Southampton have lost a load of their best players, a load of them.
So I was going to go for, I agree with you on Watford. I think Crystal Palace.
See, I think Palace have made some smart signings.
I also think Southampton will go down.
Yeah, Southampton is one where if Newcastle actually are not terrible, then it would be Southampton. And Newcastle is another one where they do have the crowd support, which kind of might push them up above the bar for relegation. But honestly, they're just not very good.
My only concern with Crystal Palace, and again, I could be completely wrong, and there's part of me that kind of is just Vieira coming in as manager. And what happened when that club like De Boer being the ex-mat coming in, and it was just, it's never worked out well.
Yeah, he's untested. It would be fair to say he is untested, so it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. I think they'll be okay. I think there are worse teams than them, and I think Roy Hodgson was frugal for like 3 seasons, so that whoever took over would have a chance to spend some money. So they've spent some money this summer because they haven't spent anything for 3 years. So
since the man asks,
Spurs,
we're going to go name our top 4.
Well, they won't be in the top 4.
So okay, there we go. Where do you think Spurs will finish?
Well, 9th.
I would say at least 6th.
Nah, I can't see that.
If they keep Kane, I
think that is a
6th.
big if, though, isn't it? Like if he leaves, I can't see them anywhere near Europe. Not even close.
Me and I Tried Gaming on the same wavelength. We think we'll finish in 5th.
I'd be surprised.
Arn, your top 4, starting from 4th and working your way up. Go.
Talks about him signing a new contract. Yeah, there's been a few players who've talked about signing new contracts recently who then just disappeared off somewhere else. So. 4th, Leicester.
Oof.
See, I've thought about this quite a bit, and I feel like Leicester are massively underrated by people. They're good. They're a good team. They haven't messed around with their squad too much this summer. They've had to get Vestergaard in to replace Fofana just because he's got his leg broken in a pre-season friendly, which is unfortunate. But they've made good signings. They're already a very established team. I don't think there are 4 better teams than Leicester in the division.
Okay. Who are you going with 3rd then?
3rd, Man United.
Okay.
I don't think they've had the great transfer window they seem to think they've had. Jadon Sancho is just another Marcus Rashford, isn't he?
He finally signed, though. He finally signed. It took him
Yeah, he's Marcus Rashford, but he can dribble a bit better.
3
So
windows.
they desperately needed a centre back, a holding midfield player, and a centre forward, and they bought a winger. That was their big signing. They've already got wingers. They didn't need him. So yeah, that was really confusing. That whole process was really weird to me. He is good, but the one major success for them is they've actually signed a central defender. Last season, they desperately needed a central defender. The problem they might have is if Varane turns up and goes like, "So, hey, isn't that great?" And he just sits around and like counts the money that they've given him because they're idiots. So yeah, I think there'll be. It's either them or Liverpool. It's one or the other.
Okay, so I take it third. I take it second would be Liverpool for you then, or
No, Chelsea.
oh, okay. And number 1,
Man City to retain. They won last season so easily. If they get Harry Kane in, he's basically the player that they've always wanted. He's a centre forward that can also play look all over the place. So yeah, I think they're going to win it.
Okay, so
Chelsea will push them. Chelsea will definitely push them.
So I am going with. I'm going to go really. I was going to go really boring because it technically is kind of a thing. I think. I think Liverpool finish. Well, sorry. I think Man United finish 4th. I do think Liverpool finish 3rd, or no, actually, I think Chelsea finish 3rd. Sorry, Liverpool finish 2nd, and I think City do retain the league. I tried gaming has pretty much got close to what I went, which is a little bit of changes. I like Leicester, I do, but I just don't see it. I think as you do.
I'm an optimist in that I like to think that Leicester are doing all the right things and moving in the right direction on and off the pitch. So it would be a nice reward for that if they finished in the top 4. Yeah. And I don't really care which one of Man United or Liverpool has to miss out for that to happen. I really don't care.
So, any surprise finish? Any other surprises you think will happen in the Premier League? Do you think anyone's going to get sacked?
I think lots of people will get sacked. I think Nuno will be lucky if he makes it into the new year. I think Benitez will be gone by Christmas. Who else is going to get sacked?
Well, here's a thing, right? Predict the first manager getting the sack.
What's the Watford's manager called? Because they go through managers like nobody's business. So whoever that is, he's first.
Watford's manager
is it Cisco?
Cisco.
Cisco something. I can't remember his name.
Okay, so you're going for Zisco. I will go.
Cisco Munoz is his name. But
I will go with Patrick Vieira. I have little trust in that man. Okay. Let's move quickly.
If you get rinsed by Roy Keane on Monday Night Football,
yeah,
it's gonna be great.
La Liga. I don't really want to predict the top 4 for this, but I'll predict who you think is going to win the league.
The winner. I kind of find it hard to look past Real Madrid because I watched all the big teams in La Liga last season, and they were all bad, but they still finished 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
So it's like I kind of go with the one with the most like history attached to them. Plus, they played most of last season without Ramos anyway, so it's not going to be a major loss to them that he's gone. Barcelona losing Messi, on the other hand.
Barcelona are just in a world of trouble.
They still have a good squad. Like these are not jokers that they've got playing there. They still have a shot at making it into the Champions League places there. La Liga is all the teams that are there got hit bad in the pandemic.
Mm.
There's not a lot of teams that are really pushing for the top four. I mean, there's like Sevilla, Villarreal, Real Sociedad. Those are ones that could kind of creep in there, but I don't think any of them have really got consistency to do that and really bridge the top three.
Yeah, I find it very difficult to see past Real Madrid. Atletico this season they've got Morata back. Then they lent him back out loan again. Then they got they let go Dembele. The main player they signed was Rodrigo de Paul. Yeah, I just think Real. I mean, David Alaba will help there. Maybe if when Aguero comes back after 2 months, Barcelona might make a push for it. But I don't think anyone knows what that team is actually going to look like.
And I think a lot of it is going to rest on Pedri's young shoulders, which
72 game Pedri.
He's played a lot of football, hasn't he? It's a lot of pressure to put on the lad, but that's the position he finds himself in, and a lot of the other young guys that they were kind of leaning on are just nowhere near his level. So it's going to be Pedri or bust, I think.
Yeah, so I think we're both going Real Madrid on that.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but yeah, Real Madrid.
Ligue 1, the French league. Do we really want to make a prediction?
Is there any point? if PSG don't win the league with that squad, it'll be outrageous because there are not any other good teams in the French division. Like Lille won the league last year through sheer guts and determination. Yeah. They then sold like half the squad because the manager left. And the manager left. So they're not in a good place to challenge. I don't think there's another decent squad in the division. I think PSG, if they don't win, it's going to be prime Pochettino bottle job territory, and he will definitely get fired if they don't win the league. He might get fired if they don't win the Champions League, because
the only team that looks potentially appealing would be maybe Marseille, a push for the players that they've signed. They bought Senghis under. They've got Guendouzi. They brought in Gerson and Luan Perez from Flamengo and Santos, and then they got in Saliba. And they signed a boy from Barcelona called Conrad de la Fuente, another one of these youth players who basically left.
Yeah, so, I'm familiar with the work of Conrad de la Fuente, mainly because I kept signing him on Football Manager because he's like, your scouts always say like he's got 5-star potential, but he hasn't.
So, I mean, I do think PSG have to win this league, because if PSG don't win this league, then it's an absolute...
I think the only real thing to think about there is like, who's going to score most goals out of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe? I think that's the only thing that's really worth looking at.
So who do you think scores scores the most goals in the PSG lineup? And not attackers.
If Messi lands on his feet there, you look at he's been accused of stat padding in La Liga. Can you imagine what he's going to get accused of when he's knocking 5 past like nonce?
I like that was the team specifically. I mean, they played, so that they've already played one game. I think they went 1-0 down in the beginning of it and then went back to win 2-1. So you've got a choice here of Mbappe, Icardi if he even plays.
Icardi's not going to stay there. They need to get rid of him, honestly, to balance the books.
Well,
I mean, they don't need to balance the books because they're the richest club on the planet, but
that does. By the way, I was just looking at that, and I agree with Ivan McGann. Conrad de la Fuente sounds like a George Costanza alias. So they've got, yeah. So I mean, if we take McCarty out of this, because no doubt Wanda will send him off to somewhere.
He's going somewhere.
Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. Who have you got your money on?
My money's on Messi.
Okay. I will go for Kylian Mbappe.
I'll laugh if he leaves in January.
If he leaves in January, then you've won that bet. So well done. Right.
I'll take it.
We move on to Arn's
Yep.
favorite league, Serie A.
I'll tell you what, though, Serie A is going to be fun this season. It's going to be fun. I'm a little bit upset at the trouble is, like, the only squad that's not really suffered any like major thrashings is Juventus. They haven't actually lost any players.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the rest of the, like, Inter Milan have gone from we're on top of the world to where's the money gone?
Quick, burn the books. The bookie's coming.
Yeah, really.
Pack everything up, especially Romelu Lukaku. Send him away to Chelsea.
Yeah, so the cynic in me is saying that Juventus are going to win that. What would be really fun is if Atalanta won, because they've been kind of around the top four for the past couple of seasons. They haven't really sold players. Like, they've had a lot of players that clubs have been interested in over the summer, but I don't think anyone's gone.
The only one who's gone is Christian Romero.
Oh yeah, of course, he went to Spurs, didn't he?
And he went to Spurs, and then a goalie who went with a loan option to buy, because basically both of Spurs' signings were loans with options to buy. They brought in Demiral.
Yeah, I was going to say they had Demiral from Juventus. He's a very good central defender.
Hold on, they signed Christian. Oh, okay. So they signed Christian Romero from
Juventus.
Christian Juventus. Well, he used to originally play for Juventus. He went on loan to them. They bought him, and then he went on loan to Tottenham. What on earth? I love the Italian league. It's so wild.
It's such a mess. But yeah, they haven't lost any of their players, so they've still got I think Zapata, Muriel, Pasalic. They will be there or thereabouts, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Atalanta. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna stick my neck out and say Atalanta.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go for a really wild pick as well, but you've kind of stunted me. But you know what?
It's that kind of league, though. I can see Atalanta winning it. Napoli are not completely out of the running, I don't think. There's Jose Mourinho's Roma.
Well, actually, he's won at the league before, and I hate this club to death, but I would find it hilarious. So I am going with AS Roma to win Serie A because I think it would be the most banterful thing.
Yeah, unless Juventus hit the ground running and basically run away with the title, this will be the most fun of the big five, I think.
I think Pirlo's obviously got a wee bit. Obviously, they've given Pirlo a little bit of time. I don't think they expected to win the Serie A with him this season. I mean, maybe they did. I mean, they had Ronaldo, so if you kind of don't win it, then it's maybe like a, what on earth are you playing at? But I mean, I don't know. I mean, they've not signed anyone other than bringing people come back from loan. They did officially now purchase Weston McKennie. That's really about it. So yeah, I think Roma. I think Roma have this for a laugh. We'll see though. It could, as you said, Arn. I think it's one of those leagues where it could be anyone's game. Now, since our friends are not here and the league has kicked off as of today, the Bundesliga, Arn.
When was the last time Bayern Munich didn't win it?
Oh goodness! I mean, we're just basically going straight to the point, aren't we? And just saying that they're going to win it, aren't they? Because I think they've won it now. I'm going to say, so the last time they didn't win it was in 2011-2012 when Dortmund won it.
That's just embarrassing, isn't it?
You're not gonna think Mönchengladbach might do something?
Honestly, Bayern. I don't know how any of our German friends can mock other leagues when they basically are in a league with one team in it and then a bunch of like under teams that fight for second. It's the Bayern just Liga is all it is.
I think the thing is with it is that, I mean, so they've just finished 1-1 against, I think it's 1-1 still now against Gladbach. I think with Nagelman being in charge now, it's going to take maybe a little bit of time. And with Alaba leaving and Upamecano coming in, it's
I
still
think
going to take a bit of
Upamecano
time.
for me, that absolutely sums up the Bundesliga, because like he was at Leipzig and they finished second, and he went from Leipzig to Bayern.
Yep.
And all of us are looking at it and going like, what? And the Germans are like, oh no, this is normal. He's just moved up to the better team. And it's like, well, the literally second to first.
Yeah.
So Bayern Munich will win it. They'll also win every other Bundesliga until the end of time.
Okay, I'm going to disagree. I am going to say that a team led by Daniel Malin and Erling Haaland.
Daniel Malin's not that good, man. I know you like him, but like he's not that
good. Let me enjoy it. Let me have my moment. I think Borussia Dortmund will surprise the apple cart this season.
It would definitely be a surprise if they won that. You should probably put some money on it. That's probably the longest shot you've.
Oh, I'm so glad we're back. Football. So since we've been gone, we're gonna spend the last 10 minutes talking about, because that's the main leagues. There's not anything else missing, is there?
Well, I guess the other thing would be Champions League. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League?
Okay. It's not going to be Arsenal.
Well, they're not even in it, so that's kind of a kind of.
There we go. No. So the Champions League. I'd maybe go. I don't think Chelsea are going to. Well, I mean, I could say that, and then I've put myself wrong.
I feel like the Champions League is really hard to predict because it comes down to like big cup games between like big teams when it's kind of a 50-50 and anyone could win, which is how Chelsea ended up winning last year. That and because Pep Guardiola's a bold fraud.
Is this the year that Man City finally win the
I'm
Champions
going to
League?
say they might actually win it finally, but they really, really need to just carry on just doing what they do. They don't need to change formations for the final because that was so stupid.
I am going to go for Real Madrid.
I can't see that happening. I think it's going to be an English team because they're the ones with all the money, and PSG have only bought forwards. So
I think your favorite manager of all time, Carlo Ancelotti, walks up and goes, "Hey, look, I've won this." Wins the Champions
You know what?
League.
If he gets sacked around December time, we'll take him back.
We'll do him a swap.
We'll do him a swap. They can have Benitez.
Okay. Do we want to do the Europa League? Do we want to do any of those leagues? Do we want to do anything like that? Okay. Right. Let's get into what we were wanting to talk about at one point for another 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap up. But how bad are Barcelona now in this financial equivalent? It has been quite positive. One of the best stories, and we haven't talked a lot about it.
Yeah, we just haven't really had the chance, have we? Barcelona is staggering. The mismanagement of that club is astonishing in ways that it's hard to even comprehend how much money because you look at the income of these teams that they're rubbing shoulders with, the likes of Man United and Liverpool and Real Madrid, and how have they spent so much money? It boggles the mind, really.
I mean, Liverpool are con artists. I mean, Liverpool are real con artists. I mean, how can you make Philippe Coutinho look that good, and then happily swindle money from Barcelona, because goodness me, that is an absolute swindle.
Barcelona. Well, they paid last year. They did like a swap deal with Arthur, with him
For
going
Pjanic.
for Pjanic, who's, I want to say, 8 years older than Arthur. So they paid, I think it was something
60
like
million.
It was like
it
was like a swap. So like they paid like nothing, but they had to give away one of their best midfield players. They paid 120 million for Antoine Griezmann, who then didn't hit double figures the next season in La Liga.
The year before that,
for Barcelona.
Yeah. The year before that, they'd bought Arthur for 31 million and Malcolm from Bordeaux for 41 million.
Yeah.
Bartomeu just basically got the checkbook out and just went on a crazy spree of like...
Clement Longley for like 35 million, I feel is about 30 million too much for a player of his ability.
Ousmane Dembele for 145 million.
That was a lot. And that was the same summer they bought Coutinho. So they bought... Oh, sorry. They bought him in January, didn't they?
They bought them both in... Let me have a look.
They bought them both in January.
No, they bought Dembele in the summer, and then
and then Coutinho in January. So in the same year, they spent like 270 million on two players.
And then they also spent 40 million on Paulinho. 30 million on Nelson
Semedo.
12 million.
I can only assume they'd never seen Nelson Semedo play.
12 million on Gerard Dufalo from Everton.
Delafeu.
Yerry Mina for 11.8 million. And the only player they had sold that season was obviously 222 million for Neymar.
It's not even a transfer thing, though, because we're looking at the transfer numbers and they don't tell the story, really. The story is how much money they're paying these players.
Yeah.
It's like going to Barcelona is like winning the lottery. Or it has been for some of these players, because they turn up and Barcelona are just like, well, the average going rate for a Barcelona player is like £90,000 a week. So have 100. And your likes of Junior Firpo and Neto are turning up and going like, is there a misprint? I earned 20 grand a week last year, and now I'm on 100,000.
Yeah,
or something of that. Like they were paying Messi like half a million a week.
And I think the problem is also like they go in
really
and they go,
not sustainable.
We can spend on these players, and then they're like trying to re-sign Messi, and they're like, oh, we've got the money to sign Messi, and then it's like, oh, we don't. Let's go cry miserable tears. And then La Liga are helping them, because obviously La Liga understand how, financially viable they are for their league. So it's just like you're going nowhere. It's just a mess. That team, that entire thing is a mess. And Bartomeu just basically saying, right, peace. And then Laporta coming in and going, well, what on earth has happened here? It's just hilarious. And I think this is the second time he's been president or something like that. Would that be correct?
Laporta? Yes, would be. They're not the only big team that do this, though.
No.
They're not the only big team that do this. They're the big team that has got caught out.
Yeah.
And haven't been able to just kind of lean on somebody who's got a load of money to kind of just see them through COVID.
Yeah.
COVID is the cause of this finally reaching a tipping point. They could have gotten away with it otherwise. They had no income for a year and a half from crowds.
Yeah.
And that's a big stadium as well. It's like 100,000 stadium. It's one of the biggest in the world.
I mean, if you watch the coverage from the Spanish news media and the media, which I've been tweeting or retweeting certain videos of Los Chiringos, where they are so annoyed
It's a
that
good show.
Messi is gone, and they are like blaming. They are saying like PSG have to have help from like Ligue 1. Where is the financial fair play? And it's like financial fair play just no longer really exists anymore. It was a thing that was there, but they've bent it all out of shape. That there's not really much that can be done, is there?
Yeah, FFP is fine until you can afford lawyers to talk your way around it.
Yeah.
And if you can afford to break FFP, then you can afford to get the lawyers to talk you out of it. There's no way Man City didn't break financial fair play regulations. They clearly broke them, and then just took it to the courts and got back reinstated. UEFA are spineless unless somebody's threatening to take all their cash away with the Super League, and in which case they're suddenly like, "Whoa, we can't have that."
Yeah.
So back to fisticuffs coming up.
2-0.
Oh, Brentford just go
With a really long throw in.
another long try.
It might be. I'm gonna watch this and then we'll wrap up just this quick bit. I do think Barcelona deserve everything that they get. I love the whole rumors. At least they've got Martin Braithwaite, and I hope Martin Braithwaite's happy after everything that happened this summer. Yeah, it's a really long throw in. Oh, that's brilliant. That's beautiful. Arsenal in the mud, as expected. Yeah, Martin Braithwaite, Aguero. Obviously, you've heard the rumors of Aguero wanting to leave now because he was expecting he was going to play with Messi. Now he's. Don't look at the second Brentford goal. Ivan's embarrassed for us. That team is a shambles. An absolute shambles. Was it Norgard? I think it was either Norgard or Moreno.
I saw Norgard on my score update thing. But... Monaco are losing as well.
There we go. So Monaco are not going to win.
Monaco are losing away to Lorient.
Yeah. Monaco are not going to win Ligue 1. There's going to be lots of a shambles. Yeah, it was Norgard who scored. Barcelona deserve this, if we're being completely honest. I will say this.
The only thing that irks me about it is that they're the only one that's got flattened, because Real Madrid absolutely deserve to get clobbered as well. So do Atletico Madrid, because they massively overspend compared to what their income is. Loads of the top Premier League, well, pretty much all of the Premier League teams do this. This isn't just Barcelona. They're the only one that don't have a safety net.
Yeah.
All the rest of them have got some sugar daddy hanging around in the background, their own personal Roman Abramovich, who just writes them a check to say, "Oh, so we're 50 million in the hole and we can't afford loan repayments. Well, I'll just let you have that for a bit." Whereas, Barcelona don't have someone that does that for them because they're owned by the fans. So
no, and PSG are just currently going, "We're winning everything. If we don't, it's an embarrassment." Because if they don't win,
PSG must have been licking their lips when COVID kicked in, because they knew full well that they were absolutely pandemic proof. They're recession proof as a club because they've got all that oil money behind them. So anything can happen and they'll be fine. And every other club isn't. So they could just cherry pick. They're just like, well, we'll have Ramos, we'll have Messi, we'll have a kid. It's like a kid on FIFA, like doing his transfers.
Just wait.
He's literally just taking all the best players and just going, that's the team now, and they're going to play with like 4 up front next season. I hope they get rinsed for it.
Just wait for Ronaldo to end up turning up in about a year.
Oh, he will. He absolutely will.
Oh, anyway, Arn, do you have anything you would like to plug? I believe.
No. Oh, yes, actually, yes.
Yes, trying to help you get to the viewers.
So the second Groundhoppers Guide comes out tomorrow morning at around 10 o'clock. I think it's 10 o'clock. So tune into the channel for that tomorrow morning for the world premiere.
There we go. The flagship will be back at some point. We're just picking and choosing moments because There's a lot going on, and a lot of other people are streaming and recording stuff at the same time, and we don't want to
Yeah,
take your
I
attention away.
I kind of thought that you get towards the end of lockdown and there'd be less people knocking around, but it seems like there's more.
Well,
So,
that's what happens when there's a Delta variant, Arn. Listen, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe down below. We're probably gonna we'll be back some point. We'll be back when something funny happens. Also, Rangers, lol, Dundee United. What a day! What a day! What a joy! Unfortunately, we did lose Lauren Shankland, but you know what? We got 1.18 million from him, and there's an Arsenal fan looking more miserable than I was. But then we beat Rangers, and Rangers couldn't beat Malmo. Right. Thank you very much for watching.
it's all good stuff.
People are like, oh, the coefficiency. I'm just like, we will be back at some point. Please tune in to Arn and Mike talking tomorrow at 10 o'clock in the morning. They are lovely people, and I really do enjoy their show. Thanks for watching. We'll speak to you later. Bye bye.